Uh, it might look like I'm in Florida or something like that, but nah, I'm in Costa Rica. Social media at one point was ruining my life. About a week and a half ago, I asked 2,000 of y'all, which social media platform do you want to let go of, but you can't, and why? I got some really interesting responses, and some I didn't expect. In my case, I left all social media platforms about 2 months ago. Before that, I wasn't on a bunch of them. Like, I never tried to get used to using Snapchat. I never liked TikTok because you log on and it yells at you. Snapchat was like that first social media platform that felt like it was one step too far. Like when it's people snapping their breakfast and walking their dog, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't know if I'm a millennial and that's why, but it's probably aging me to say that I don't think we should have the capacity to keep track of each other that closely. I came up in the MySpace era and I actually missed like AOL chat and all that. It was around when I was a kid, but I wasn't interested in it. I was outside touching grass. Anyway, let's get rolling on these answers. So, being in Costa Rica, I've actually seen businesses that operate off of Facebook Messenger as a default. And so I know that situations exist where Messenger and other functions of Facebook are part of the job. That being said, I think it's fucked up for a job to tie you to a social media platform and thereby kind of like force you to take that step into something you may not want to engage with in your personal life. And then there's people who use Facebook to connect with friends and family. I get it, right? For a long time, my cousins, my family that I never see, they were all on Facebook and they still are. The only difference is I'm not. And the thing I found about leaving Facebook was that nobody really cared. If you want to get in touch with me, you got my number. It's always been that simple to me. So for those who are looking to get off and can't find a way to, your friends and family aren't going anywhere. And really what you need to address is why you feel you need to be on it, if that makes sense. I actually untagged myself from all the embarrassing photos from college and anything I didn't like before getting rid of my Facebook. And I created a new profile since for investigations, but I don't use that to connect with family or anything like that. I'm incognito, and that's exactly how I would like to be. I just think in general, with Facebook being the first big platform to sell us out as far as our data and our privacy, and then try to reclaim that trust, I think we all need to find a way off of it, if at all possible. It doesn't help that Zuckerberg was all buddy buddy with Trump at the inauguration. That's not cool. And I also saw a lot of people say the marketplace on Facebook is crucial for them to maintain. And to this day, Facebook Marketplace is one of the more effective places to sell, buy anything super cheap. So I'm never going to downplay the convenience of that function of it. But if you're a person who's not that tied to the marketplace, I think you should find a way off of it, in my opinion. This is an extension of Facebook, but it's its own separate thing with its own separate motivations. There's quite a few people talking about how Instagram is their only lifeline, their only connection to their friends. That's something I can't relate to, but I can relate to using it for lurking, right? Like I didn't have a Finsta, but I had multiple Instagram accounts for business and promotion of my art. And so I was using it for both. I was using it for seeing what people are up to, getting lost in the explore page and the random reels and whatnot, and also for just like the pure entertainment of it. I loved it at one point in time. Instagram was a big one for me, and it was definitely the last one I gave up. Even when I gave up everything else, I still had my Instagram when I was doing YouTube all through last year. It was the only social media platform I directed people to. So I understand the tie that people have to it for promotional purposes and for their job. And of course, Instagram is owned by Facebook. So all the points I made previously about why it's toxic and it's not good for us as a society or good for you individually still stand. The engineer who created the infinite scroll actually regrets creating it. because it's an addictive mechanism that sucks us deeper and deeper into that funnel. And now that there's such a flood of ads and promotional material on those platforms, especially Instagram, especially on the Explore page, combine that with AI and you don't even know what's real and you don't know what exists to sell you something. I think for Reddit it's really straightforward. Everybody that talked about this talked about the ability to curate your subreddits and the groups you're in and the topics you follow and the news you pay attention to. It's also a great place for news. The front page of Reddit is one of the first places that breaking news hits other than Twitter. And I definitely see the value in it. I still have a Reddit account, but I never use it. So I definitely, try to stay away from that as much as I can. Even if you are a person who uses Reddit on a regular basis within a controlled manner, it helps to even go on a detox and just stop exposing yourself to the thoughts of the world. Even on Reddit, the toxicity can get extreme. So if you don't curate your subreddits and you don't stay away from that stuff, it can be the worst social media platform. So you take the good with the bad. I also don't like Redditors. I don't know what it is. And I know Redditors are a large group of people, but every time I get in a political discussion or discussion of race and culture with Redditors, the neckbeard comes out. These lonely ass white boys in their basement trying to lecture me about what slavery really was and shit. Like Reddit is one of the main places you're gonna see that type of behavior and that type of mindset. Like I know better than you, even though you're in the affected community and you're educated on the topic. On the other side of that coin, I've had my work go viral in Reddit. My first ever video essay went viral in part because it was shared in a bunch of anti-MLM subreddits. So I'm very grateful for the community effects and to hear people's genuine opinions on things because they are able to be anonymous. I think there is value in that. For those who did say they missed TikTok, it was mostly the fact that you open it and the app is screaming at you. And it's just like, engage, engage, engage at all times. And the algorithm is very adept at learning what you like and showing you more and more and more of that in as rapid succession as possible and not really giving you a chance to breathe. And for some people, that's overwhelming. Like for me, maybe it's because I'm old, but again, along with Snapchat, TikTok was crossing that line for me that's like 24/7 exposure to just constant promotion, constant activity, random stream of thoughts from people. It is refreshing that as a creator, you can just do shit. And the algorithm actually gives you a chance to expose a lot of people to the art you made or the thoughts that you just wanted to get off. But like every other social media platform, there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of people on there talking like they know what they're talking about and they don't. And they come across as authoritative because the bar on TikTok is so low. With TikTok being banned and potentially getting bought by America, we don't even know what shape it'll take in the months to come. But what we do know is the impact it's made so far. And I can't hate on it. I try not to hate on things that are super popular in the younger generation. Yes, I'm gonna do y'all Twitter people like that. The reason I said Twitter was so bad, even in the poll, is because it's terribly toxic. You know what I'm saying? The last experience I had with Twitter was actually going on there to evaluate what Elon has done to it for a video that I made months ago. And when I tell y'all my timeline was nothing but Nazi shit, it wasn't like it was just a little bit, it was a lot. Like it was every other tweet was something toxic, something attacking another person, something gossiping about some celebrity. And yeah, part of that is me engaging with one of those tweets or commenting on one of those tweets, granted. But the lifting of the restrictions and the content moderation that came along with Elon taking it over, in my opinion, is completely unacceptable. There's free speech, right? But then there's also this theory of free speech that Elon propagated where he thinks everything that anybody says is valid, no matter where it's coming from, no matter what ideology it's putting forward, and no matter what underrepresented groups are getting targeted as a function of that. There's a reason their advertisers dropped off so sharply and they can't get anywhere near the same market share that they used to have. They're no longer even close to one of the more popular social media platforms because they've let the worst of the worst take over and bully everybody else off of it. I was one of those people in the mid 2010s to late 2010s who was arguing on Twitter all the time, and of course, all that's deleted, all that's wiped from existence at this point. But I did some pretty embarrassing shit on Twitter and gotten some completely unnecessary disagreements and conversations that I shouldn't have never been a part of. I think what Twitter did best and what Twitter continues to do best is spread news while it's happening. Truly, truly dope. And it's a shame that it has to be paired with this strong Nazi element that's been creeping into it since Elon took it over. Now, I didn't put YouTube in the original poll, but I did follow up with an option to click like if you think YouTube is also, one of the platforms you need to get off of the most. And a lot of people did say that, and I want to make space for y'all. Obviously, I'm on YouTube and I will miss you if you decide to leave. But what I'm saying is, I get it. YouTube, especially if you don't have premium or an ad blocker, is unbearable. Like the amount of ads, the amount of promotion, the amount of pushing you towards right leaning extremist content because that gets them more clicks and more activity is fucking nuts on YouTube. I've seen it myself. So I get it. And I also get how some people say that YouTube is interactive TV and not social media, but I did include it because it is. It is social media, whether we want to call it that or not. And just because I'm only on YouTube now and it's also my job doesn't mean I've completely escaped from the effects of an algorithm or the influence that comes along with seeing all these videos suggested to me every day. Of course, along with that, along with all of this, right, is the rise of monetization. YouTube used to be a place, just like the rest of these platforms, where it was user centric because that's the life cycle of social media. It starts off being user centric and being a genuinely pleasant place for people to come and connect, to focusing on premium users who are going to use it a lot and pay to use certain special features, to being advertiser focused and then investor focused. And once you become investor focused, you're squeezing every dime out of that ecosystem. And it's not really pleasant for anybody. It's not pleasant for advertisers. It's not pleasant for users. It's essentially unusable. I wanted to leave space at the end for these unique responses because to me, this sums up the experience of being on social media. Rashad said it's essentially like being ghosted, right? By all of your friends once you decide to leave them. That's a very real thing and it causes real pain. And that loneliness that can result from that, combined with not touching grass in real life and not having these friendships that have survived the pandemic, have survived some of these tougher economic downturns that created a situation where we're more internal than ever and we're more isolated than ever. That's a rough combination. Like, that's tough. That's tough to power through, right? I'm not going to belittle that and act like it's just touching grass that will solve your problem. It's a function of our capitalist economy and what it's driven us to do over time. So I understand that leaving this behind is leaving a tie to what makes you human. It's just unfortunate that these things also come with such massive downsides that can make you depressed, suicidal, etc. Shout out to Mastodon and Blue Sky. I've dabbled in both, just seeing what they're about. And it seems like they really do add something to the Twitters of the world or the Discords of the world to give you just that added layer of protection, that added layer of customization. And even though it's not for me, I just don't want to be in a social media environment anymore. So YouTube is the furthest away I can get while also expressing myself, obviously. But yeah, from what I've seen, both of those are dope. Tumblr is incredible. I miss it. And I know it's still around, but just not in the way it used to be. I'm talking about porn. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. I wanted to talk about grown man actions comment. In a nutshell, he's asking, why is it even necessary to leave social media behind? He wants to be exposed to the worst of humanity and the worst thoughts people have and extremist views and whatnot so he can be informed. And I get it. I don't agree. like, that's a take, but I get it. I understand that someone may want to have all of that exposure and all of that knowledge of how the world works, how the world thinks, and how other people are interacting with each other. That makes perfect sense to me. I just don't want that.
Okay, lie, tell myself it ain't that deep. Yeah, a lot of broke glass in the backseat. Of course, bad luck put me in a taxi. Yeah, try and crack formulas and lines never add up. I am not an addict or a mathlete. Of course, I could call a groupie for the nasty, but I need, yeah. Diamond in the rough, not a quarterback bluff. Little mama, don't fuss, I'ma bring it back to ya. I just went to get lunch, got a lot of love for ya. It's really that much, got you climbing up the wall, cause I'm really that much.
Y'all tell jokes.
I know but it felt though, trying to earn love and plenty women trying to sell though. We can get it back, but that ain't Chanel though. Trying to see what you got for me. Got you saying CC from the back, mommy at the back. Say CC, red flag, got me in the back.